Welcome to a new EL Software Spotlight video. In this video, I'd like to introduce the key new features of version 3.1. So let's get started. A major new feature is the dashboard that appears when you launch the EL software. Here, you get a quick overview of the connected devices and the experiments currently running. At the very top, you can see information about the server. 2 PAT testers are currently connected, as shown in the table below. Here, we can also see how many measurements are currently running on each device. With a single click, you can expand the details for an individual tester. Here, we see a graphical representation of the inserted cells. This shows how they are arranged within the device. The entries marked in green indicate which of these cells are currently being measured. Below this, we see the individual test channels. Each channel includes information on the test cell in use and the experiment currently running on it. In addition, details on cell composition are now also displayed, provided they have been defined. This is the case with the 2 lower cells. So there is a lot of relevant information that you can see here at a glance. But that's not all. You can also go to the individual test channel here. There, you can see the current multimeter readings and the last few cycles of the ongoing measurement straight away. The next new features I'd like to show you today relate to the experiments section. The experiment list now includes a handy little feature. Here, you can copy the name, description, and even a full summary of the experiment directly and paste them into a report, for example. In each experiment, the measurement scripts used are now displayed in a table below the relevant test cell. The main details of script execution remain visible. Additional information can be expanded or collapsed as needed. The cell composition can now also be modified after the experiment has started, making documentation easier. In this example, I am adding the aluminum sealing ring to the composition, as it is used in this test cell. If a component is not yet in the database, it can be added directly here using the plus icon. Another new feature concerns stopping and resuming experiments. To demonstrate this, I'll open a sample experiment in which a measurement is currently running. Previously, an experiment would close as soon as I stopped it, and I had to reopen it to continue. This mechanism has now been removed. I can now stop the experiment, for example, to add another script, and then restart it straight away. This works as long as the test cells used are not already in use in another experiment. There is now a new restart function for individual script executions. This helps you quickly adjust scripts during development. You can then restart them straight away. To do this, we have added a new restart button to the menu bar. This opens a dialog box that requires confirmation of the restart. It is important to note that the restart will delete all measurement data recorded so far for this particular script execution. This applies to data stored both in the database and in text files on the drive. This function is therefore best suited for testing and troubleshooting a measurement script. As soon as I press the confirm button, we can see the current measurement stop and restart. Next, I'll show you how to pass variables between measurement scripts. I'll open the example experiment prepared for this. In this experiment, we can see 3 scripts that have already been run on the test cell. I'll expand the script details so we can see the variables. The first 2 scripts each define a variable, one called Q and the other called V. It is now possible to pass these variables on to subsequent scripts, in our case, the third script in the list. I'll open the first script to show you how to define a variable. Here, at the end of the REST step, we see the entry EC.setOutputVariable. This calls the function to declare a variable with the given name and value, in our case, a fixed value of 4. In practice, however, this could also be any other calculated value, such as the capacity. I'll now show you how we can access the two variables in the third script. At the start of the step configuration, we can see the entries that make Q and V available in this script using ec.getInputVariable. The exact syntax of these entries is explained in detail in the documentation, which can be accessed directly within the software. We can now use the values of the two variables in this script. In our example, we'll simply have them printed to the log to check that the data is being passed correctly. Let's take a look at the log. To do this, I open the script log tab and filter the messages to find our output. Here we can see that the two variables have been passed correctly, along with their values. This new feature offers plenty of new ways to link measurements together. Next, I'd like to show you two more minor updates. One concerns navigation in the diagram view. On the right-hand side, you can now switch between the views of the cells in a cell group, the scripts for that group, and where available between groups. This makes it even quicker to cycle through measurement results. The other update concerns the documentation, which can be accessed directly within the EL software. A new section has been added here that explains test scripts and their parameters in detail, and provides numerous examples in Lua code. Here, for example, you will also find a chapter on the method for passing variables that I showed earlier. That's all for now regarding the new features in version 3.1. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.